This week we're going to continue to talk about what it takes to live at peace. What does it look like to be a Jesus follower who lives with peace in his heart, peace in his mind, even though the world around us might be going crazy and even though our circumstances could be flying out of control? There are some very practical things that you and I as Jesus followers can do to be at peace, to take the gift that Jesus offers us, a perfect peace, and just live in it and enjoy it and dwell in it. And be an example of a person who has peace regardless of what's going on around us. Now, the scriptures are full of men and women who just seem to exude peace. They weren't exempt from hard times, or they didn't avoid difficult situations, but they still had great peace. And one of the things that I see in the lives of these people, just a theme that is repeated over and over, is some of the men and women in the scripture who had great peace chose to do difficult things. Now, this sounds counterintuitive, especially in our modern culture where we are encouraged to avoid difficult things at all costs. Don't do anything difficult, you might fail. Don't do anything difficult, it might hurt. Don't do anything difficult, it might offend somebody. Our world lies to us, because one of the greatest ways you can have peace of heart and peace of mind is to do hard things, and then you have this depository, this bank account full of hard things you've done that you can lean on and draw strength from, and it actually gives you peace to know, I can do hard things. One of my favorite examples of this, and there's plenty in scripture, but there's an old man named Caleb. In the book of Joshua, Caleb is 85 years old. He's been with Joshua since they left Egypt, and he was promised some land, and he's one of the oldest people in the tribe of Israel. And they're done conquering the land. It's taken them 45 years to conquer the land, and Joshua is dividing up the land among his leaders. And Caleb approaches Joshua and he says, look, I know I'm 85 years old, but I still feel young, and I don't want to take the easy way out here. I don't want you to give me the flat, easily farmed land. I don't want the pasture land. I don't want the places where the rain falls. That's not what I want. I want the hill country. Caleb wanted the most difficult, rugged land that was available. Caleb, an 85-year-old man, wanted the difficult task. He wanted the difficult assignment. And I think the reason he wanted that was he wanted to prove to himself and to his family that would come after him that we can do difficult things. And ironically, it was that's part of the land, that tribe of people, who ended up living with the most peace as they moved forward from that time. So one of the ways you can be a person who lives at peace is just take on difficult things. Don't avoid the hard thing you need to do today. Make the difficult call. Do the difficult task. Have the awkward conversation. One of the ways you can be at peace is just bank up difficult things in your depository. Have a bank account. Have a mental, emotional, spiritual bank account full of tasks that you have completed that were difficult to do, that were hard to do. You can bank on those and dwell in the peace that comes from knowing you can do hard things. As a Jesus follower, you are not called to isolate, and you are not called to insulate yourself from the world. You are called to make a difference, and that takes courage, that takes a peace of heart, and that only comes from the victory of going through and surviving and doing hard things. So if you've got a hard thing on your list to do today or this week, don't avoid it and don't put it off. Get it behind you and just enjoy the peace that comes from knowing you can do hard things. Be at peace today. See ya.